Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our free Toast training. By attending this event, you consent and authorize District 14 Toastmasters to copyright, use, and publish any of the images in any format, such as photographs and videos taken of you during this event. You understand that these images may be used for a variety of purposes and may appear on the District 14 website, social media, promotional materials, or any other media. Our free Toast Host expert who will be leading this training is Debbie Thompson, DTM. She has been a Toastmaster for 19 years. She is a self-proclaimed Toastmaster junkie. Quote. She is a member of 7 clubs and an officer in 5 of them. She has 4 DTM awards, but is working to get one in Pathways before she stops. She loves Toastmasters because she sees what it can do to help members build confidence and leadership skills. She loves Free Toast Host because she sees how it can help club officers have a better club experience. Work smart, not long and hard. Please help me welcome our Free Toast Host expert, Debbie Thompson. Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Jessica. So I wanted to start off by just telling you a little story about one of my clubs. We always ask at the end of our meeting, how did you find out about us? And one year I had a VP membership who started keeping track of that. She kept up with it for a full year. And at the end of the year, she reported back to everybody. There were 2 things that surfaced as the top 2 reasons that people found us. What do you think those were?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. That was a strong one, but even stronger than that was
The internet search.
The internet.
website. Exactly. The club website. And so we know that a club think about how much you look at websites in your own life, how important that is. If you're looking for something, if you want to buy something, do they have a good website? So we're always looking at that in today's world. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Free Toast Host. The name tells us a lot. It is free. It is for Toastmasters, and it is a free website hosting platform. Think about GoDaddy or any of those other hosting platforms. They give you storage. They give you a way to add documents. They give you programmers. They give you hosting. And so Free Toast Host does this for free. That's quite a value for all of us Toastmasters. Free Toast Host is not supported by Toastmasters International or directed by Toastmasters International. I think a lot of people are surprised when they hear that. It is aligned with Toastmasters. It has things about pathways. It has things about agendas. It is very supportive and in line with Toastmasters International, but it is not part of Toastmasters. So if you have a problem and you call Toastmasters International, they are going to say, we do not support Free Toast Host. However, it is tied into the TI organization. So all of those programmers and all of that support is a labor of love from Toastmasters just like us. And we'll meet the team in just a minute, but I did want to let everyone know this is not a part of Toastmasters International. So let's get down to it. So tonight our agenda is going to be the basic setup. These are things that I feel are very important for any visitors that are coming or guests that are coming to your club. We're going to talk a little bit about basic settings, just a little bit, show you some things there about search engines to help you with that. We're going to talk about the home page. That's something that is very, very important. As we said with websites, that's the first impression. That's what people see. So we're going to add photos, and we're going to add text and edit some things and talk about that. We're going to talk about the directions page. That's how other people find out how to visit you. So that's also very, very important. And then we've got a contact page that shows us when somebody submits a contact form. We're going to go behind the scenes and see a lot of that. There's also information about how to customize your website. We're going to look at the appearance page or the back end. And we're also looking at website access. Did you know that you don't have to share the password, the administrator password, with other people in order for them to help you with the website? So we're going to talk about how that can be set up. And then finally, because this is not supported by Toastmasters International, I did want to show you the support page and how you can get information for FreeToastHost support. So we're going to talk about all of those things. At this point, I did want to show you various websites that I've seen around. These are all in the United States, but just to point out how you can customize your FreeToastHost website, all being on the same platform. However, by using background colors, text colors, photos, and things like that, you can really customize your website so that they all look very customized. So let's start with the website Aspiring for Excellence over on the top left-hand side. You can see that their backgrounds are all darker. They're the Toastmaster blue, and their text is lighter. They have a photo of the club members, and that is something that is recommended by TI. Have things that are engaging with other people. Have pictures of your club. Share things with them that make them want to visit you and see what a great club you are. If we look over to the top right, we also see that they had a darker background color. They have lighter text, but they also are showing a speech contest event. So it's always interesting when you can add the events that your club is doing, or maybe some of your theme meetings, to just make it more engaging for your guests and to update your members. Let them know what's going on. If we look at the lower left-hand side for Morrow Toastmasters, one of the things you can do with your website is add your club's personality. This particular club meets on Saturday morning at 9:30. And one of the things they did when they met in person was they always had coffee and donuts for people. So that kind of became their highlight, their key. So they wanted to share that on their website. Now that we are virtual, they've actually had some contests to see who has the best coffee mug. So they're keeping with that coffee theme in the morning. But that's something that can be very interesting for members when they're coming to see you. What's your club trademark? The one on the bottom I wanted to show you, Richmond Hill Toastmasters, shows us that we can still have photos when we're in the virtual environment. So you can see that they actually captured, this looks like a speech contest, but it is definitely in a virtual environment. So they've done some print screens, and that just shows other people that your club is meeting in person, is meeting virtually, and you're still having fun to join you when they can. Let's get into our FreeToastHost demo. We're going to demo all of the things we just talked about. This is one of our websites, 5-Star Leaders Toastmaster Club in Covington. So I wanted you to take a look at this website. Just take note of the background colors, the text colors, things like that. We'll be talking about that in just a minute, but I'm going to sign on as the site administrator. I will type in the club number and I'll type in the password. Okay, so that's what the administrator logs in with, the club number and the administrator password. Okay. That's just giving me some new messages, but I'm going to bypass that. So you can see now that I've logged in as a site administrator. I have a tab that's come up to launch the administrative console. So this is everything that is in the background behind the scenes. So I'm going to launch that. At this point, you can see that there are tabs across the top, different tabs. There are also various modules. So there's a drop down here that has different modules, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. But I wanted to go over some of the basic settings with you, just a couple of things here. One of the things that you might want to check as a new VPPR, or even as an experienced VPPR, is see what your description and your keywords say. This is something that is used by search engines. We've all heard those terms. We've heard those terms so much, but you want to make sure that the information here is conducive to helping people find you if they're going to Google a club. And so the description is part of your metadata. You can see that we have said this is a club located in Covington, Georgia, because this club is the only club in Covington right now. We also say when they meet, Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. And so we're giving information that will become part of the metadata. The other thing I wanted to show you here is the keywords. This is something we've all heard before. It's used by search engines, but check those keywords out, and they are separated by a comma. So we've got public speaking, we've got leadership, we've got Toastmasters, but to be more accurate, we've got Toastmasters in Covington, Georgia. So if somebody keys that in, this gives the search engines a better opportunity to find you and to put you in the beginning. We've got building confidence in speaking or writing speeches. So think about what people would Google to find your club and make sure that you put keywords here to support that. So that's just what I wanted to show you. The other thing that I'm going to show you right now is this is a website alias. It's probably already been set if you have a website set up, but what it does is it takes that alias and replaces your club number in your URL. So sometimes people like to just have a very short alias, and that way you could use it on business cards, things like that, that it might make more sense than having your very long club number. So I just wanted to show you those things. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that, but let's close it. Let's go back to our home page. So this is the front end, our home page. You can see the background colors. You can see what we've got set up here. So let us go to the behind the scenes. We're going to go to home page. All right. And so this information should look very familiar to you. That looks like our website. Yes, it is. We've got some other information here. We've got the building leaders making history. That is our banner, main heading. You can see that there. And this is something that you can change. Now looking here, this is a little bit small if I'm really going to do any updating. If I'm changing something very minor, I could go in and just select this and type over it and then save it. However, if I'm doing something like adding a photo or something where I really need to see more of the screen, there's a way to maximize and minimize the screen. And so I wanted you to look at this set of editing tools here. If you hover your mouse over the icon, it will tell you what this is. Source, templates, let's see. If I hover over B, that's bold. If I hover over this thing that looks like a picture, that's image. If I hover over this thing that looks like a lot of colors, that's text color. So this will help you. If you just hover over it and stay, it will pop up as to what's behind that. And you can see here it says maximize. I'm going to select that icon. And then that throws me into a much easier way to edit. And so I want to add a photo. I'm going to put my cursor right here. I'll put it behind the picture. I'm going to hit the return and get my cursor here where I want to add the photo. Okay. I hope you can see that. It's got a little line there, but I've got my cursor in the middle of the screen right here, and I want to add a photo. So to do that, I would go to my image right here. I'm going to press there. Now, adding an image to your website or your home page is a two-step process. You've got to get it, if you think about this, you've got to get it from your computer to their server. And then the second step is to get it from the server to your page. So that's two steps. The first thing we want to do is upload. I've got a picture on my computer that I want to add. Okay, now it's telling me choose the file. I'm going to click on that. Now I have a Hello Summer JPEG right here. It's a photo. I'm going to choose that. And then I've got to send it to the server. So you see you've got a button that says send it to server. And when I press that, it comes back with a message that says you have been successful. All right, I'm going to say okay. So I've done, and I'm just closing this. I've done step one. Now, step one, remember, said it went from my computer to the server. So step two, I've got to browse the server and select the picture I just sent. There it is. Usually it's at the very end. I'm going to select that photo, and we can see it has come up in the little window here. It's giving me a preview. But also notice that it filled in the width, 422, and this is pixels, I believe, and the height. So it adjusted the picture as it came in to the width and height, excuse me. So let's say, okay, this will send it from the server to my home page. All right, there it is. Very good. Now, it looks a little large to me. So I'm going to go back in and double click on this picture, which takes me back to my editing space. And I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to try that a little bit smaller. I want it to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to try 300 pixels instead of 422. You'll notice when I did that, it actually adjusted the height again there. Okay, let's try that. See how that looks. Okay, I think that's actually a little bit better. That is something that really suits what I wanted it to look like. Now I want to add some text under this picture. So what I've done again, same thing. I'm putting my cursor behind the image. I'm going to hit return and get my cursor where I want to start adding my text. And I'm going to start adding my text. Join us for a summer speechathon. If I could spell. Okay, now that's way too small. I don't like that. I'm going to edit this text by selecting it. Then I'm going to go up to my editing board and I'm going to change the size, font size. I want this to be a lot larger. Let's see what 36 looks like. Okay, that looks good. Now to make it stand out, I'm going to make it bold. It's still selected. I'm going to make it bold. And I want to change the color. So let's look, I could hover over this, it's text color. I select that, I'm going to make it red. Okay, so I've got my picture, I've got my text. There's a little thing that you can do that will help you separate blocks of information. There's a little icon up here. If you hover over it, it says insert horizontal line. I'm going to click on that. And you'll see that it put a horizontal line between what I just added and what was already there. It's just a little bit of a divider to separate your blocks of information. So now at this point, this looks good. I'm happy with it, but you can see I'm still in this editor. I don't have anything that says save this. So I want to come back out and minimize this screen. Remember, this is the toggle back and forth. So I'm going to minimize and I'm back again to the smaller screen, but now I see the save button. So if you do a lot of work, just make sure you come out and you save it all. I've done that before. So you want to press the save button. Okay. And then let's close it and go back to our website. Oh, there it is. Okay. So very easy to add a photo. This can be anything. Like I said, it might be a flyer that you have a photo of. It might be a picture of your group. It might be a screenshot of your last virtual meeting. So you can add pictures and text that way. And you do the same exact thing on any page that you do. So once you master adding photos and text, you can do it on any page. It's the same exact process. But I want to go back to that screen again. Let's look at home page. And I just want to show you, if you forget You're like, I can't remember what she told me to do. There's some little cheat things down here. There's your cheat sheet. It says click the arrows icon above to maximize the editing area to and from full screen. That's a little hint right here. You can see it has click the image icon above to 1, upload the image photo to the server, and then 2, to insert it. So that's our 2 steps. This is an icon for links where you can add a link to another website. So these are little cheat sheets. And I just wanted to show you too, this website behind the scenes has a lot of really good information. If you ever see something like this that says, give me more, then you can expand it and see this says the most important page of your entire website is your home page. We recommend that you include both images and text for best results. So they're giving you really good information, and you can see you've got a lot of hints and comments about the website and how to update. Okay, so let's save that once again, and then I'm going to close it. So that is our home page. We've updated the home page. At this point, I wanted to show the meeting information and directions. Now, this is really important when you're meeting in person, and I'll go to that page. Okay, so for this club, the website has a photo of where they're meeting. This is always extremely helpful if you want to add a photo to this instead of just directions. But that helps them if they've never been to your club. They can immediately see, oh, it's in this building, so they won't get lost, and enter any information here that might help them find your club. For example, this says, enter from the east side on College Avenue. So instead of going to this front door, I would go to the side door off College Avenue. So anything that's helpful like that to help them find your club. Another example might be, if you are a club that is in a building that has security, you may want to say something here about, please allow extra time to go through security here, so they'll know when they're coming to see you that that information is available to them. It just helps out. And you can see here that there are Google Maps. That's something that's a great feature. It lets people see exactly where you are and where landmarks are and things like that. So let's go behind the scenes and look at our information page. All right, as we glance across the top in these tabs, I see something called Meeting Information and Directions. So I'm gonna press that. The same exact rules apply that we use for the home page. I'm going to minimize/maximize so that I can see the entire page. You'll also notice that this club said, at this time, 5-star leaders are meeting via Zoom. Please join. So they've got information here to tell you that they aren't, at this point, meeting on Zoom. That's always good to let someone know. The other thing I wanted to show you is at the very bottom, this is how you add Google Maps. It is a step-by-step set of instructions. It tells you exactly what to do. You have to cut and paste, but this is how you get the Google Maps. So if you don't have anything here, then it won't have the Google Maps there for you. At this point, let's look at the contact us information. And so all of the information on this main menu is public. It's not, you don't have to log in to see it. So if a visitor comes to your club, they see all this information and they can click on anything here without a password. The information below that says members only has to have a login. And so this is the area where your visitors are coming. And let's take a look at that contact list. So far, everything we've done is really just to make sure that visitors are engaged with your website, that they can see where you're meeting, how you're meeting, and then contact us is a form that they can submit if they're interested in giving your information about, they want to visit you so you can welcome them. This is the contact us submission. You'll see that it has name. It has no information at the very top. It has information about why they're interested. They can send you a message and then they submit it. Now, when they submit it, where does it go? Okay, so let's look behind the scenes and see where that contact information is coming from. If I go to my tabs, I am not seeing anything that says contact information. Okay, when that happens and I don't see anything obvious with my tabs, then I'm going to go to my modules and have that drop down. All right, now I see contact us. Do you see that? So this is a module. It's not a tab, but let's click on that. Okay. So again, this is behind the scenes. You have email settings, security, club address, email addresses, but here's our contact form right here. This is what tells the contact form how to be routed. So we can see that this form is going to our VP membership, president, and VP education. So for this club, it's set up to go to those 3 officers. I can set up another officer, or something that has recently been added is that I could actually add a club member who is an officer. If you've got somebody who is just so good with people, they're very responsive, they are a huge ambassador for your club, you can actually put a member's name. They do not have to be an officer. Okay. So that's an option, but in this case, it's going to VP membership, and that's typically where these submission forms go. It's going to our president and to our VPE. So let's go back. Here's something called Contact Us Greeting. And so I want to say something at the very top to say, welcome to 5-star leaders. We hope you will join us on whatever. All right, so I'm going to save this and let's see what that does. All right, let's go back out to the front end, back to our contact us sheet. Okay, you can see that it now added that greeting at the top where we didn't have one before. And then I want to show you something else. So that just adds a personal touch, but I want to show you something else behind the scenes. All right, you noticed before there were no names or no numbers on any of that information when we looked at the contact form. If we go back in, however, contact us, if we check this box, this member will accept phone calls. This member will accept phone calls, VPM and VPE, and then we save it. It actually changes the form to have their information. All right, so see, it has added the name and the phone number and the officer and the name and the phone number. It does not do that unless you check those boxes. Otherwise, it's just generic. It won't have those names, but it will go to the people that you've selected for it to go to. So that's why that box is important if you want it to show names. The great thing about it too, let's go back in there. All right. The other thing about this is you definitely want those 3 people who are responding to be very responsive. I've heard of people saying they joined a club because that was the first club that responded to them. So you want somebody, again, who is very responsive to your club. The other thing is, because it's going to 3 different people, as a best practice, always reply all. So the other people know that you have responded. So generally, we leave the contact forms up to the VP membership. When they respond all, so that the other 2 people know, okay, our VPM has responded. I don't need to do that because it's already taken care of. The next thing I wanted to show you, so let's take a look. We see the background colors here. We see the yellow under members only. We see that our text is black, that there's white behind the main menu, that our background on our home page is the light blue. So let's look at how we can customize pages. We'll launch our console again, and we're going to go to Appearance. Okay, now, if we look at Appearance, we see that this is listed text colors. So they are members only menu is black text. Officers only menu links are black text. Meet our members is black text. So this is telling us where the text is, what the text colors will be. If we look here, it says background colors. So again, remember that members only section was yellow, and it's telling us other things about meet our members, a white background. So let's take a look at this members only menu. We've selected yellow, but you can see if we do the drop down, if we go to the drop down, I've got a lot of different options for color. For background color, I've got the Toastmaster colors here. I've got other colors here. So let me select this light pink, save it, and see what it looks like. All right. Okay. I don't like that at all, but let me try it so I can see how that looks. I'm going to go back in, and because I don't like that appearance, I'm going to change it to something else. I also have the option here of looking at different colors on the spectrum, and I can change, say I want a light lavender. When I select a dot here, it will show me that color in this little block. This is what it is. This is what it's going to be if I save it, if I select it, and I'm going to choose it. All right, see now it's turned it to a light purple. Let's save that. Excuse me. Come back out. All right, there's that light purple. I still don't like that, but you see how many options you have with appearance like that. I'm going to change it back to yellow. The other thing you can do is, the hexadecimal value of any color, you can actually put it here, but I'm going back to the yellow and save that off. The other thing I wanted to show you about appearance, say I want to change the background color of the home page. Now, if I look here, I don't see the background color of the home page. It's not on here anywhere. The reason is a lot of the colors for the backgrounds on primary pages are actually on that page. So let's go back in. Let's go to the home page. And then if we scroll down, this is where the color from the home page background is. It's on the page itself. If you don't see anything in the appearance, you can always go to that page. Let's go to meeting. Same thing here. If I go to the bottom, then I see the background color for that page is actually on that page. So let me come back out, and I want to show you one more thing. Okay. All right. Another thing that is available to be able to customize is the menu styles. All right, so let's take a look at how this is set up right in here. I've got main menu, and underneath I've got members only. If I go back in and go back into appearance, I've got menu style over here, and it's currently set at standard. I'm going to see what my options are, and this says accordion. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to set it to accordion. I'm going to save it. I'm going to come back out. And now that is what accordion does. It shows one of them at a time, but you can only see one at a time. Let's go back in. I'm actually going to reset that. The point is here, there are a lot of things that you may check out, try them out, see if you like them. You usually can't hurt anything. I did want to make a note here though. A lot of times there are options that you can reset. So if you go out to these colors and you go crazy trying things, and at some point you get it to the point where, oh my gosh, what have I done? There is an option to reset the colors, but it's going to go back to what TI came out, our FreeToastHost came out with in the very beginning. If you truly want to make sure you understand how your colors were set up, what I would probably do is either make notes or do a screenshot so you can always get back to exactly what you had. But there is another option that is the background. So let's take a look at, no, I'm not gonna, okay. The background here is this gray on either side. You can actually change that. Go back into appearance. And you do that by this little drop down here. You set, this says website background wallpaper. So I have options here if I do this drop down where I can set it to a blue call out. Okay, that's what it looks like over on the right hand side. I want Blu-rays instead. Okay, that's what that looks like. Or I can upload an image. If I have something that I want to be the background, I can actually upload an image here. I'm just going to go with this Blu-ray. Let's see how that looks. All right, let's close it out. All right. That's not very attractive. I probably would change it, but that's just to show you that you can actually update the wallpaper behind your website. So I'm going to come out of here for 1 second. And I want to show you something else. Now, to control the access and a lot of other things in the website, you have to tell the website who your president, VPE, who all your officers are. And so membership management, we're not going to go into a lot of detail in this particular module, but this is where you would add new members to your website. So for example, you've added them in Toastmasters International. It is not automatic that they are added to your club website. You have to do that. So when you are adding members, you can see here, and we're going into much more detail in a later webinar, but basically what you do when you have a new member is you add their name, their email address, and their phone number, and then save it. And so you've got information there about your club member. This is also membership management, is where you designate your club officers. So this is very important when we go into the next section that I'm going to show you, and that is access. We're going to, now, a lot of people, I think, are under the impression that if you want anybody else to help you with a website, you have to give them the administrator password, and that is not true. You can actually assign your club officers with access to some of these modules by simply going behind the scenes to access settings. Okay, now this is why I showed you membership management, because you need the officer set up as a link to who is your president, who is your VPE, because this is what gives them access outside of the administrator password. So I'm just going to take a couple of examples here. Access to membership management. That is adding new members and designating the officers. Most of the time, that's going to be your vice president of membership or your treasurer, because those are the people that know when somebody has been added to TI. It's up to you, but that's what I've seen a lot of times. DPM adds to the website, to TI website, and then turns around and immediately adds them to the club website. They're just the ones that know that somebody has been added, and they can actually do a cut and paste, so they get all the information correct. This email contact information forms, you see we've got president, VPE, and membership. We've got the ability to add custom web pages. We've assigned here. And the way you do that is you click this, and then it lets you assign up to 3 officers. Okay, I'm not going to change any of this because we've got it all set. But I am the VPE of this club. So if we look to see what I have access to, it is the email and contact form. As VPE, I have access to custom web pages. As VPE, I have access to the file manager, and that's where we add documents. As VPE, I have access to the agenda settings and templates. All right, so this is telling it as VPE, I have access. I'm going to close this out, and I want to show you how that works. I'm going to log out as system administrator. Now, I'm going to log back in as myself. All right, perfect. I'm logged in as Debbie Thompson. Oh, I left the menu like that. I'm logged in as Debbie Thompson, not a system administrator. But look what happened to my menu, members only. When I log in, I have something pop up that says email and contact forms. If I click on that, it takes me behind the scenes. I do not have the password. I'm using things from my agenda or my menu. And see, I have access behind the scenes for all of this. I don't have the password. Notice when I log out as Debbie Thompson, all of those things have gone away. Okay, so that is how you could assign someone else in your club the authority they need to do things, but you do not have to give them the administrator password. Let me sign in again as site administrator. All right, let's go to members only again. Now, I signed in as site administrator, but any member who signs in, as long as they have members only, has access to website support. If you can see this, there are two lines here. It says website support documents and website support forums. They actually take you to the exact same thing, same page. So I'm just going to click on one of them. There is a wealth of information about FreeToastHost. This tells you here that we're on version 3.0. There were version 1.0, 2.0, and now 3.0. Anytime they have a major change, they do upgrade to another version. So this just tells you, this homepage tells you a little bit about it. There are forums that you can go into. Here's one that tells you the new features. Here's one that tells you tips and tricks. Here's one where you can send them information about their website if you have something. So there's just a lot of general discussion. You can see the support request if somebody is asking for something. I can take a look and see what's been processed. I've got a how to use page where it has a quick start page. It's got a glossary of terms, getting started video. This might be something if you're a new VPPR, you might want to take a look at that video. It's got a blog. It's got to meet our team. And here's where they are listed. This is the founder of FreeToastHost and one of the developers, Bo Bennett. And then we've got ambassadors, technical advisors. Here's another one of their main programmers, Steve James. You'll see his name a lot if you're behind the scenes. So he's a developer. So that's the team. Now, if you do need to register a ticket, something is not quite right and you can't get it fixed, then you do have to have a username and password. So you have to register in order to submit a ticket. But this is how you would do it. You would register and then you would submit a ticket to them. And I can tell you, I have submitted a ticket before. They are very responsive when it comes to tickets like that. And they will get back to you, but that's how you report it. If you call Toastmasters International, they will tell you, we do not support FreeToastHost. So something I just wanted to reiterate is don't feel afraid to try things on the website. You can usually delete what you've done or just don't save it and it won't replace it. But explore. There's so much information. There are so many features in FreeToastHost. We felt like we wanted to show you the basics tonight, but there are so many things that FreeToastHost can do.
Larry had two questions. How do you make the picture show in a homepage edit frame while we are editing it?
The issue that I was having, Debbie, was that when I add a picture, an image, the image in the edit frame is just a box that says iframe in the middle of it. But when I save and close, the actual picture shows up on the website page. So I'm thinking maybe it was a glitch in the system, or was it a setting that I wasn't using properly?
Okay. I think it actually might be a setting, and I say that because there is an iframe setting. So when you are adding a picture, I think, Larry, this is actually an option that you are selecting. So let me go back to the home page. When you look at, let's see, let me open this up. When you look at the editing icons, the image is actually the one that you use to add a photo, but there is an iframe image, and I think perhaps you are selecting that one instead of selecting the image icon over here. So does this look familiar when you add an iframe? To me, that's when you add an image. Okay.
The iframe, what was used on the slides. The image was used as a picture, but for some reason when you click either one of them, it was just showing that box with the iframe in the edit mode.
Okay. I'm not sure why that's showing you iframe. And again, iframe is one of those very technical programmer advanced things that we didn't want to scare anybody.
All right.
So,
thanks.
But I appreciate the fact that you're getting into some of this stuff. You can actually do programming behind the scenes in FreeToastHost and program a lot of things, but that is a little bit more advanced. The neat thing about it, though, is you don't have to understand any of that advanced stuff to have an exceptional website. You can do it with adding photos and text and being creative with things like this. But there are a lot of things that you can add YouTubes, you can do a lot of things once you get used to some of these basic things. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Debbie.
Okay. Answer your question. Okay. Any next question?
Are the Toastmasters brand colors already an option, or do you have to add them? That is a question from Wendy.
So the Toastmaster colors, if you noticed, if you look at the drop down, the Toastmaster colors are actually listed here. So they are available. Oh, I don't want to do that because my color won't. So they are listed, and these are all under the Toastmaster branding. So they are listed on any of the drop downs and available for you. Any other questions?
How do you change a picture that is sent as a document to JPEG in order to post it on your website?
The question is, what if you receive the picture as .doc and you want to change it to JPEG? How do you do that?
Okay. I would think that Word, and I'm not a Word master, but that when you bring up a .doc in Word, you were able to export it to a JPEG. Somebody with Word help me out here. I think I've done that before.
Yes, Debbie. There's two options there, sir. What one is, like Debbie explained, when you save as, you can go down under the file name, and you can change it to JPEG, or you can change it to PNG. Those documents will automatically put it in a picture format, whatever is on the Word document. A second option could be done through PowerPoint. You can take that document, right-click, copy on it, and then go over to PowerPoint, right-click, paste as an image. It'll be on the far right once you hit the right button, and you click the far right, and then see paste as image. And when you do that, it automatically puts it in JPEG first. And if you want PNG for more website, you will put it in PNG.
Right. And actually, that's a good lead in. This top part, 5-star leaders, join us at the next meeting, was originally created in PowerPoint. then saved as a JPEG and pulled in as a picture. So there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of creativity that you can do. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Cool. All right, any other questions?
Yes, from Mark, where can you put a club newsletter?
Okay, we did not go into this, but I'll briefly explain that you can put documents. So I'm assuming it's probably a PDF or a doc. You can add public documents either here, and we don't have any, or under members only. You can add documents. I guess I've got to sign in as me. Member downloads is another term for documents. Don't tell me we don't have anything here. Oh, there's one. There's one document. Toastmaster wears many hats. So behind the scenes, again, that's something we weren't going to get into, but file manager. This is how you actually add documents. But again, I don't want to go too deeply into that. That's another webinar. Like I said, there's so many features here as VPPR. I know this is new to you, but don't be afraid to explore. Take a look at all these other things we haven't talked about. Here's where you can add social links like your Facebook page to your website. You can get website statistics by adding analytics, or there's a simple button here that says enable a hit counter. When you do that, at the very bottom, it will tell you, where is it? I don't know if you can see it. It says 304 people have visited since 7/18/2020. So there are a lot of features I haven't had time to go through. Feel comfortable. I hope you feel comfortable exploring, taking a look at things. There's a lot of really good information behind the scenes that may tell you how to do it. It explains a lot of different things. There's a lot of information about, you can add Twitter, you can add a YouTube URL. If your club has a Flickr account or Google Plus or Meetup, a lot of information you can put on the website. So don't be afraid to explore a little bit and see what's new. They're always coming up with new things. Anything else?
That concludes our questions for our Q&A session.
Well, thank you so much, Debbie, for sharing with us how to customize our FreeToastHost websites. Again, this was a basic training meant to help you guys get started with the website, but we will have some more trainings to help you do some advanced stuff.
Best of luck to our new VPPRs.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.